In these problems, we're doing something pretty difficult. We're taking sentences, words, phrases in English, and we're translating them into math language. We're translating them into algebraic expressions. This can be pretty tough to get the hang of and pretty confusing in the beginning. But it's actually one of the more worthwhile things to learn how to do. When math is actually useful is when we can use it to translate some things from the real world into a language that we can operate with math on. So even though some of these things seem like they aren't situations that you normally encounter in the real world, this process of translating English sentences into math is a really useful thing to learn how to do. All right, lecture over. Let's actually start this. It says, the first one here says, choose the algebraic phrase for the following expression, the sum of a number and 10. And I think what we should do first here is make a list of some code words. The first one is a number. Sometimes you'll see it as the number. A number is usually the variable. So x or whatever, in this case they're using f's. So that's the variable. Sum means addition. Difference means subtraction. Product means multiply. Let's see, what else is useful? Oh, well, usually the word is an equal sign. And let's see, oh, opposite. The opposite of a number, that means negative. Okay, so we'll use these notes that I've scratched out here as we go through these problems. So this one says the sum of a number and 10. Well, sum means addition, so I'm going to look for a plus sign. A number is our variable, so we'll put that on one side of the plus sign. 10 is the number they're talking about, so this would be the sum of a number and 10, f plus 10. And that's exactly what we have in choice A. All right, let's look at another one. So this one says, choose the algebraic phrase for the following expression, the sum of thrice a number and negative 4. Well, thrice is probably one of those words that you don't use very often in your normal language. You might find it in some old nursery rhyme or something. This actually means, we'll add it to our list here, thrice means 3 times. Okay? So in this one, we've got a sum again, so there's going to be a plus sign. Put that here. And then on one part of it, on one side, there's going to be thrice a number. Well, remember, a number is the variable. And in this case, it looks like they're using p's. Thrice p, 3 times p, we write as 3p, just like that. And then the sum of a number and negative 4. So we'll put that on the other side of the plus sign. Now, you could leave it like this. You could rewrite this as 3p minus 4. Those are the same thing. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, looks like it's right here, 3p plus a negative 4 like we wrote in the first one. Okay, let's try another. So this one says, which algebraic phrase corresponds to the following word phrase? The sum, so we've got a sum again, of 4 times the opposite of a number and negative 7. So this is a big chunk. That's one part of our sum. The other part is this one. So it's the sum of this and that. So I know I'm going to have a plus sign, and I'm going to have a negative 7. Or maybe I'll just have a minus 7. We'll figure that out. But let's look at this chunk. 4 times the opposite of a number. I mentioned that the opposite of a number is the negative of that number. So it looks like they're using n here. So if n is our number, the opposite of a number is minus n, negative n. But they want 4 times that. So I might write that as a negative 4n, or I might write it in another way. I'm going to stick negative 4n because that's how I'd write it most often here. So this is basically what I've got. Let's see if it matches anything in our choices. Here we have n minus 4 minus 7. That doesn't look like it at all. We're not multiplying anything by n. Here we have negative 7 times a negative n. Well, it's not 7 times, or negative 7 times the opposite of a number. Here we have 4 times negative n, and then minus 7. This looks like it, because another way to write negative 4 times n would be 4 times a negative n, and then we have the minus 7. So I think this is going to be 4 times, the sum of 4 times the opposite of a number and negative 7 right there. All right, let's try one more. And remember, if you're getting confused, this takes practice. So hang in there. This one says, which algebraic phrase corresponds to the following word phrase, the product of 2 and the sum of 2 times a number and 3. Let's take this a piece at a time. It says a product. So a product is multiplication. And it says the product of 2 and this whole big chunk. So one part of our product is going to be 2, and then we're going to have some other thing, and probably, so let's do times, and since it's going to be a big other thing, I'm going to put some parentheses out here. Now let's see if we can sort out what's in this big other thing. The other thing is a sum. So I'm going to have a plus of 2 times a number and 3. So one of the things in this sum is 3. The other thing is 2 times a number. Well, a number, that's going to be our variable. Looks like they're using n's again. And it's going to be 2 times that number, so it's going to be 2n. So we should be looking for something like this. Oh yeah, right here. 2 parentheses 2n plus 3. So that is an introduction to translating phrases in English into algebraic language.